What's going on, guys? It's me, Tim, with the Gutter Growth Podcast. Today I got a special guest. It's my buddy and friend and also one of our coaches with Gutter Growth, Chris Dobrosky. What's going on, brother?
What's happening, Tim?
Not much, man. How you doing today?
Doing good, man. We're in is the rest of the country in a heat wave? Because it's like going to be 97 here for the next 3 days. Not looking forward to it.
It's got to be 100 here. If it's not, it feels like it.
Well, you guys get the humidity down there too, which makes it markedly worse.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's, when I was doing storm chasing, I was in Tennessee. I went to Virginia, Texas, Oklahoma. I think the worst heat was like Oklahoma and Texas. Like it's crazy there. It's like we don't get 115 in Florida. Like I think Florida's known for being hot, but I don't think that we actually get that hot. I think we just don't get cold.
I think hot is hot. Like people in Phoenix will tell you that, it's we don't have humidity here, so it's not hot. But man, 110 is 110. I don't care. It's hot.
Yeah, I wasn't used to that 115 stuff when I was in Texas. Like I learned that you can't really get on those roofs because the roofs will melt, and then just like I also learned that if your AC goes out there, I'm not sure if it's hotter or colder with the window up or down.
Yeah.
Because my AC went out when I was there, so it was like blow dryers in your face, even with the windows down.
So what'd you guys do when you worked though?
Yeah, my guys were able to do it, man. I wasn't doing any installs back then, thank God.
We have a 10 by 10 and some cooler with some waters. We froze a bunch of stuff. We got two big, like giant, I don't know how many CFM, but like huge fans blowing and a little bit of shade for them. So what we're going to make it through. But
they handle it pretty good.
No, they're pretty miserable, but it wouldn't be.
No doubt, man. So I guess you're keeping them pretty busy.
We're pretty busy. We're booked out at least a month right now. So a little bit of backlog, stuff still coming in. We just increased our spend on specialty and quoted 2 half-round jobs this week. So that nice. Apparently was good money spent. So,
Yeah, I love the custom market. I think it's my favorite. Chris, for those who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into the gutter industry and how you became a gutter growth coach?
Sure. It's probably not the most typical way to get in the industry. I feel like most of our industry is from the operations side. So you installed and, owner operator, you're going to start your own business and buy a truck, and which that's another thing I think is wild that we do in this industry. But, invest 15 grand and go, hey, does anybody know what I should charge? Like, I think it's the wildest thing to me. But I was in Windows. I started selling Windows in college. Well, I started knocking on doors as a canvasser to write leads. I got a bunch of leads, and the guy said, "Do you have a car?" I was like, "I can get one." I started running leads for Windows and siding and roofs and everything. I was a punk 18-year-old at college, but started closing stuff, and I've tried my entire life to get away from home improvements, and now I'm into it forever. So I got back from the Coast Guard after 7 years in the Coast Guard. I ran into a buddy of mine from the window company, and like a week later, I'm out running leads again. Because you had to make money, right? So, and that was the easiest way. Honestly, like home improvements is like being like a drug dealer. Like even if you want to get away from it, the money's so good, you can't run away from it. So, but I spent a lot of my recent career with the biggest, oldest window company that you know of out there. And when I left there, the option was I was going to start a window company. I was just going to start marketing windows because my phone always rang for windows. And that was in late 19. And then when 20 rolled around and everything got shut down, we had just installed a siding, roof, gutter, softened fascia job. And I was like, well, what can I sell that I don't have to go into houses? And I had kind of focused in on gutters and entry doors because you could get on Zoom, you could drive past our house and take a picture and superimpose the door up on, and, like we did in the house, but just do it remotely. And so I signed up for a home advisor. In those first, like 90 days, we did, 130, 150 grand in retail sales.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, and I liked the cash flow, and like I never
Yeah.
thought of the business, but the cash flow was great. The business was great. We were subbing everything out to an Amish crew at that time, but we sold our first gutter at like end of March 2020, and by May I had ordered a 5.6 machine from KWM and ordered a 16-foot trailer, and we were going to be a gutter company.
So your business is a COVID baby.
My business is, yeah, I'm one of the people that started in COVID, but I don't know how many of those made it. We did, and we're thriving, but it's been an interesting journey. I wish I would have found gutters earlier. We'd be at a crazy place right now if that was the case.
Yeah, no doubt. And so you also used to train sales guys when you were in the window. Yep.
Yeah, my role has always been like sales manager, national sales trainer, that type of thing. I like to run leads. I like to close, but I really enjoy working with people. I enjoy role playing and getting people to make their own money and to succeed on their own, to give them those skills that we developed.
Yeah, no, there's been a ton of guys in the program that have came in, and you've helped them tremendously. Like their close rates have went up.
I feel like sometimes we're coming in at such a high level with sales. Like I'm always trying to like get it more basic all the time into just something bite-sized pieces that guys with no background can handle. But at the same time, I feel like people always say like, hey, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a natural salesperson. But the reality is that if you can get your girlfriend or your wife or your friends, if you can start a conversation that how to navigate it to get your way at the end, then you're a salesperson. That's the same with our kids and our family. Like we know how to enter those conversations. Yeah. A little manipulative, but it's really what sales is.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's helpful, but you got to manipulate sometimes to be helpful.
I think sometimes, I don't think sometimes people have maybe a negative connotation about sales, and they feel like they're forcing someone to do something. But the truth is, as consumers, we all need help. Like we need permission to make decisions. And that's our job at the end of the day, I don't have a gun.
I don't even like that word, really. It doesn't feel like that, because it's just, a lot of times it's just some block holding them back from doing something they really need to do to make their life better.
We don't like to make decisions. We don't like to spend money. Those are things that sometimes a lot of people need a little help to do. I never seem to, but I just blow money out like it's crazy. But
yeah, that makes sense. No, but one unique thing about you is you not only have you've been great at sales and teaching sales, but you've also been able to do it virtually, which, like, I know that if I did it virtually, I'd have a pretty shitty close rate potentially. But you have a good close rate, like you've really nailed it down. And whether you go in person or not in person.
The gutter industry is booming. Investments are flooding into the space. Companies are consolidating, operations are scaling like never before, and tech is redefining the experience and resetting expectations for the home service industry. But the gutter business has never been treated like the powerhouse industry it actually is, until now. This is the Gutter Summit, the #1 convention in the business, bringing together the entire industry, all at a, dare I say, elite venue built for connection, growth, and opportunity. Taking place September 23rd through 25th in New Orleans, the Gutter Summit unites the top vendors in the country, investors who are pouring money into the home service space, contractors, operators, manufacturers, service providers, startup founders, and more. Oh, and did I mention fun? Our evening networking experiences will set the bar for what mixing business and lifestyle looks like. Food, fun, high-level connection, and an environment where real relationships are built and deals get done. All of this in one of the most electric cities in the country. Get your tickets now before it's too late, and we'll see you in New Orleans this fall.
You're going to close that sale.
Yeah, and that's look, I've conceded a bunch of times. Like if I went out and started running all these leads, would we close more? Would we, increase our ticket size? For sure. But I'm also at the point where, in my career, I am over 50. I have way more than 10,000 appointments under my belt, and I don't want to say I don't care anymore, but I just don't. I don't have it in me to run that pace anymore. But we have, and I thank COVID for that. Because if you would have told me 6-7 years ago that I'd have a company and, we'd be looking at, right up to $1 million in revenue, that we ran no in-home appointments with a good conversion rate, I would tell you that that is absolutely crazy. I mean, the first GutterCon I went to, I can't tell you how many people told me that what I'm doing won't work. When COVID's over, it won't work. But
Yep.
I just refuse to listen to that. And not only is it working, we're thriving.
I think part of it with at least my perception of it, because I did do it for clean outs with pretty high success. I didn't want to waste my time with that stuff. And I almost felt like I had a better.
I don't think the consumers do either.
No, I don't think so. It's too small, and so
Yeah.
I did good with that. But I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like speed to everything on that is what closes it. So like a lead comes in, like you need to start estimating it right away and then talking them through that process all the way to the close.
Well, it's not that there's no process being remote. It's just, it's a very streamlined process. And to your point, and I've said it, I mean, you've heard me say it before, I think the special sauce is how fast we get quotes in people's hands. I have that average 8-minute phone call with somebody on the phone, and within 15, 30 minutes, they have a pretty, a very specific, customized, thorough, proposal in their hands. And I think that, a lot of times they get it so quick, and I think everything else goes with it, right? So it's not that it's just quick, but like on paper, we're a good option in our market. Like we don't have a lot of just gutter companies in Pittsburgh. The other one here in my market's been here 35 years. They got 6 reviews. We hit 250 this week. We have some people have been very kind to us review wise. I'm a veteran. We're veteran owned. We market well. I do a lot of social media. We get a lot of trust already. A lot of, there's a lot of proof and a lot of trust in our social media, which I think does lend to it. But yeah, it's we get them to people quick. We make it very easy to buy. Just put your credit card in. Just go ahead and click on here, and here's your payment. Financing's easy to get. And if they Google us and do the reviews, we're not a bad option. And sometimes, like as a consumer, like I don't want, if I call Leaf Filter and they can't come over to next Thursday for a salesperson to come for 60 to 90 minutes with both homeowners there, I don't want to do that. And I don't imagine a lot of people today do anyway. So we give them an option. Can we run the market this way? Probably not. But, can we do $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million remotely in one market? Yeah, I think we can.
I like the idea of it being able to, like, say if you were expanding territories, like it not holding you back from being able to quote jobs in another territory if you didn't have that sales guy set up yet. I kind of like that idea. Like I've thought about it for like the Christmas light business. Now I am doing in person, but there's so many people very successful at the virtual that, if I wanted to expand, like that would be perfect for me.
I agree 100%. I think that would be, I mean, really more than anything, it's just processes and, and you have those dialed in. So
now, is there ever a time that you'll be like, okay, this one I do need to go out to? And
we made some changes this year when the home value, and that's the first thing I'm looking up when I have that phone call with somebody, is I'm looking up that, on Zillow and get their house value. When we start to get to in your market, this may not be a huge number, but in Pittsburgh, this is palatial. When you start getting into that 600,000-700,000, like a person who's a executive, a lot of those people are driver personalities, like they need a little more. And we give everyone the option of coming out. So even if like a lot of times you have like older folks that don't like the idea of it. Well, I'd like somebody to come up. Not a problem. Let me go ahead and get you a price today though. And let's make sure we're a good fit for each other. And then we can set it in person. We offer an in-person walk to everybody. Just not everybody takes it. Once they make the purchase. Correct.
Now, how many of those people like decide, okay, well, maybe you don't need to come out, or, decide just to do the job once?
An overwhelming majority.
Really?
I've done, in the last 30 days, I've done 1 and maybe 2 walks.
What do you think the psychology is behind that? Why is that they'll be like, I want someone to come out, but then, you'd be like, let me show you. And then they end up going with it. Can you kind of walk me through that process?
So a lot of times that objection is more just the unknown or the lack of understanding. like the feeling like, oh, my house is special. There's special things here. How can you do that remotely? And, and I let them know, like, if I come out, like a lot of times they don't think the measurements are going to be accurate. Well, if I measure remotely, that's the most accurate way for me to measure it, the technology today.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm looking at your house right now while we're talking on Street View. I'm noticing this tree. I'm noticing how your gutters are hung. I know the color. I can see from this picture that Google Street View took 2 years ago, these miters are leaking. Do you notice those black marks on your miters? That's an indication that seal has failed and it's letting water through.
Yeah.
And it just built the trust more than anything.
Yeah.
But
So
it's not a common objection though.
They're just not really sure that you could actually quote it. They're a little skeptical, and then you go and do it, and they're like, "Oh, wait a second, this guy knows what he's doing. He's done this a time before." And
Absolutely.
Yep. What do you think? Because I know you do a lot of coaching with guys that are new to sales and trying to get better. What do you think, like, is the number one thing that holds people back from being good at sales or actually making the close?
I'm going to say there's two things, and they're both rooted in the same thing, and it's fear. So you've heard me make this analogy before. We've all been to the bar with our buddy or our friend who looks across the bar and sees somebody that they're attracted to or want to meet, and then never go talk to them.
Yeah.
We don't go talk to them. It isn't because we don't think we're just afraid they might say no. And that potential no prevents so many people from taking action. Like for me, that's an analogy that everyone can relate to because everyone's seen their friend, look and be like, wow, that person's really attractive. And then never go talk to them. Right. So it's the same thing with, there's a statistic that I've seen a bunch of times in sales magazines that, the statistic about how often people say, or how often people actually ask for the business. Actually, we just uploaded a video about that on the Facebook page pretty recently, or it's going to get uploaded soon. But it's amazing how many people, if you ask them, like I'll do a ride along with a rep and, after the appointment, I'll ask, did you actually ever ask them to buy? Well, sure I did. You didn't. It's the, okay, well, here's my card. Let me know, call me if you have any questions. I answer all the time. And, let me know when you're ready. Those aren't, can we do business today? Can we get you on the schedule? Can we move forward?
Right. That's
Because
the word I like. I like to ask him, do you want to go ahead and get put on the schedule?
It's probably the least of, aggressive way to ask to buy.
Yeah.
Do you want to get in line now, or do you want to wait till that line gets long? I had a guy today. He didn't ask any questions, and he put like a $3,000 deposit down on a $9,000 job, 7-inch on his house. And he goes, "Well, when are we going to do this?" I'm thinking, bro, you just gave me $3,000 and never asked me that question, which is another great thing about remote. But we're going to do you when we're going to put you in line, and when we get to you, that's when we're going to get you. Like right now, it's probably early August. He was
what's funny about that, man? It's always the highest paying customers that give you the least bullshit.
100%.
Just like, oh, when's it going to be done?
I think he sort of thought we were just coming out to do it, but when people ask that question, but I would be more scared if someone was ready to go for the job tomorrow. Yeah, in our hearts, we I'd love to get it done soon, but that's a red flag. That guy's got nothing to do. You should feel better that like we have a month's worth of work. So
you're gonna be here next month. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I always felt weird about that personally. Even if I didn't have no work going on, I usually wouldn't do it the next day.
Right.
I just try to fill up the following week type deal. I don't know. I guess it depends, but generally,
it doesn't build a lot of confidence that you're, like you're sitting there with a cup trying to beg for change for a job.
Yeah.
Spare jobs for the poor.
Yeah. No, there's some truth to that, man. I think that fear is like not just in sales, but in life. Like fear is like what blocks everybody.
Well, it's fear of, it's fear of that no, and it's fear of probably practicing. Like we're afraid to. I have a new full-time cleaner, and I bought him one of those DJI 360 cameras. Because we're watching some great guys like Jeff and some other people out there taking some gutter cleaning content that's doing amazing with it. So, hey, let's collect some content. And he's had it a week. I said, hey, did you take any video yet? He goes, well, I didn't really see anything. Like he's afraid to just start. And sometimes you just got to hit record, right? So I'm like, just record the next 3, even if nothing happens, just record them. And I think it's that it's whatever you do. Like I remember like I was in the Coast Guard when I first started bartending and waiting tables. And like, no matter what when you started a shift, that first table that you walked up to, after you got that out of the way, then you were just walking up to tables all night. Like, hey, how's everybody doing? But it's always that breaking the ice seems to be hard for people to do. And a lot of that too with sales is the practice that they don't do. I think that's the other, like, I don't know anything that you can be good without practice and role play. Yeah. But I don't think people like to do it because they feel that it's not accurate. Well, it's not about actually trying to get, me and you are role playing, Tim. It's not about actually getting you to give me money. It's the opportunity for me to practice going through the kind of the flow chart of my process to overcome an objection.
Well, it's like, say like in martial arts, right? Because I like to do Muay Thai and stuff. You have drills, right? And the drill just might be, jab, jab, cross,
because you're getting the physical memory,
right? And that's all you're doing, jab, jab, cross for like a half hour, maybe, or maybe it's just a 2-minute drill and then you move on to something else. But like literally, like it doesn't seem like that would help you in a fight,
right?
You know what I mean? But you're getting so perfected that
to where you're not thinking about it.
Correct.
You don't have to think to make that combination move anymore.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the same thing in sales.
100%.
That's one of my favorite things when you have the role playing classes going on. Some guys get nervous to actually participate, but I mean, when
it's like pulling teeth. It's like pulling teeth to get guys to jump in on that. But it's once they get like anything else, once they get comfortable, then then we offer people all the time. Like, if you call me, I answer the phone and I will role play with you. 8 o'clock at night, I'll role play with you. No one ever does, because I think they get afraid.
I'm no sales coach, but whenever I do coach people on it, it's always
coaching's coaching though.
The coaches, they're just not asking for the sale. That's it. That's like the main thing. I just try to change that, and it usually works. Just start asking.
Just ask the question, can we get you on the schedule tonight? Right now, let's go ahead and get this thing moving forward. Let's get this problem in your rearview mirror.
You said another thing. You said another thing that's really important too, and it's like, I feel like it's part of the sales process, like having a proper brand and like you doing all that content that you're doing. If you can collapse the speed, the trust, your close rate's going to go up. And I feel like you're doing that because you're always putting out content. You're not just putting out content where you're just showing jobs or voiceovers. Like, you have your face in front of it. You're putting yourself out there. Hey, we're on this job today. You say different stuff every time, but they're getting to know you as a person.
Sure.
And they already kind of maybe feel like they know you by the time they get to talk to you.
I've made this comment. There are calls that happen that I can tell by what they're saying that they've consumed some content. They feel some trust already. Like, it isn't about like whether we're going to go with you. Like they know they've already made that decision, which
right.
That makes the sales process great when they already know that they're giving you money.
It's like a referral.
Right person. Yeah.
When you're getting a referral, it's a 9 out of 10.
Absolutely. And they just already feel like they know you, they trust you. And that's, I mean, if you're going to start a lead, that's about as warm as a lead as you're going to get.
Yep.
I'll run those all day long.
Chris, do you have any advice for anyone on content? Because you've always been good at it. It's like you just do it. What's your advice for people on, they don't know what to do, they just, because that's, most people just don't know what to do, so they don't do anything.
I just had a conversation. Somebody, you just got to, we did, I don't sub very much, but there's a guy I know, I try to help him out with some roofs, and he tries to help me out with some gutters. But, and he's such a, like, big beard, like, but just an awesome dude. And I kept telling Tony, he's like, well, I don't know how to, man, just turn the camera on and be you. And that's the advice I would give anybody. Just turn the camera around, hit record, and be you. Yep. Leave mistakes in. Like, we used to, like, if the saw went off, when I was recording, I'd stop and start over again. And now I just, I turn around to look at it, and because it's part of the job site, and I just leave it all in there now. And it's as, try to be as real as it is. Usually it's a one take, just, truck goes by, mower, dog bark, doesn't matter. Just be you and be sincere. And I think if you do that, you'll connect with people. I think sometimes especially with AI, things are too, they're too edited. Yeah. They're just not sincere enough. And I think that's the best thing you can be, is sincere.
Isn't there some saying, I don't remember what it is, some like authenticity's higher form of intelligence and even love, or I don't know what it is, but it's like, that's really what people want. Like you can have all these quirks, you could be a nerd, it don't matter. Like, if you just show up as yourself, like, people like authentic, they will like you. You just show up and be yourself generally. And if they don't, like, who cares?
And in a space like, home services, construction, like, if there's any space where trust isn't a guaranteed, like, we trust our doctors, right? We go to a doctor, there's some trust built in. You call to get your roof done, man, you got to be on Facebook for 5 minutes to know that may not always go the way you want it to go, right? And so people have a little apprehension when they're hiring a contractor, because especially like in my state, Pennsylvania doesn't have any licensing for contractors. It is the Wild West up in here. It is wild.
I tell you what, man, I thought the gutter industry was wild, man. The roofing industry is like real wild. Wild West.
Yeah, I don't even want to say, but there are some consistencies with a lot of some consistent traits with roofing owners that is wild.
Yeah. No, I
colorful.
I get a trip sometimes just watching.
I went to a new supplier this week, and there was a guy there who just got into the gutters. He had a brand new Englert Metal Man machine. Yeah. I went over, asked him, I just asked him his story, how he got in it, and he was a roofer, and he lost his gutter guy because his gutter guy was in his 70s, which that's the saddest thing I've ever heard ever, right? Like a 70-year-old straw doing this stuff. And I see like 40 and 50-year-old straw out there. It's you got to move up in your career. But I had the observation, if he was at the roofing supplier, nobody would ever ask him these questions, right? Like, you go to the gutter place, everyone's sort of friendly, everybody's can I help you? Anything, it's a nicer environment than the roofing. But you go to, Beacon or ABC to get some gutter stuff, and the roofing guys are all, dirty eyeing each other and talking behind each other's back, which is crazy. So,
no, it's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know. I think what was it, a Metal Man? Was it like a D style machine, or are they making?
No, it was the 5.6 combo.
Are they still?
It was brand new too, man. It was still wet behind the ears.
Really? Yeah. I didn't know they were making those.
I didn't know that either. And the funny thing was, he wasn't buying Englert material to put in it, so whoever brokered that deal didn't do a very good job.
Well, I don't know if, like, I haven't dealt with Englert in the past few years, but they had a real attitude when it came to gutter guys, like a real attitude. They didn't want nothing to do with them, and they weren't always like that. I mean, going back and when I was storm chasing, I only bought from Englert back then. Like,
right. That was the first metal I bought, was Englert.
Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know what happened. It's just like they only wanted to start serving roofing companies. I don't know if the gutter guys there wasn't enough money in it, or so I had a hard time getting my D style machine out of them. Like, I had to almost fight to get them to even make it for me. So when you said they just made a new K style machine, I was surprised.
I mean, maybe it was been sitting around for a while or whatnot, but yeah, the paint was still nice. It was still in good shape.
Yep.
Well, Great Day improvements bought, well, the company that owns Great Day bought Englert not too long ago. So that's them and LeafGuard all came under that huge umbrella in Ohio. So maybe that has spawned production again. I know they're going through some changes, but man, I wish them luck. So
yeah, no doubt.
There's been a lot of buying in gutters recently. 𝐂𝐋𝐄 just bought Service Partners.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's some financial news out there in the gutter industry happening on the manufacturing side, at least. We'll see how that is for consumers.
I'm wondering how much longer before PE starts getting more involved. I mean, I know a couple guys buying up, but there's not too much of it compared to, like, say, HVAC or roofing or a lot of these other industries.
Yeah, and is it just because the industry's not as big? It's not as much upside for them to get involved in? I feel like they'll work down to gutter sooner or later, but
I don't know, because it's such a good business. But the thing is like, I would say 70% of them probably aren't viable businesses. Shit, maybe 80 or 90% of them aren't. Really.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably a higher number.
Yeah. So I don't know. That could be a component, because if I was to buy a business, like, it would have to be doing a gutter business. Like, it'd probably have to be doing 1.5 to 2 million. I would. I mean,
think how many $5 to $10 million HVAC companies are out there?
A lot. There's not that many $5 million gutter companies.
There aren't that many $5 million gutter companies, so that might be a lot of it. To be honest, if you have $1 million gutter company, I don't need to buy you. We can create that in short order with a little bit of money. Like, unless you have a crazy good brand, or but that's, if you did, you probably would have grown already anyway. So yeah, it's hard to say, but I'm kind of glad they're not. I know there was a lot of talk.
Me too.
Yeah, maybe just small and leave us alone for a little bit and let this there's a lot of people out there trying to bring this industry up. You guys are, the Gutter Growth's doing a lot. Frank's doing a lot. There's a lot of people out there bringing the industry up, and I think that's. I wish the industry was more receptive to it, but it's like anything else. Over time, you start seeing enough success stories, and you win people over and bring them along.
Yep.
Because as a business, there's nothing better. Gutters is such a great business.
Did you get to watch me and Frank's podcast?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right until you guys got super deep into the gym stuff or the health stuff, and it was already like 11:30. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, no doubt. He's I actually am pretty impressed with what he's done in the past couple of years, fitness wise.
Oh, dude, he's like a gorilla now, man. He's a
dude's jacked.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I would have effed with Frank before, but I'm definitely not.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
No, I think you guys made the point in the podcast. There's a lot of that seems to be going around our industry right now. A lot of people are, I think as people get successful, they get healthy.
Yeah, no, I've noticed it, man. Like, so many people in the past, I would say 2 years, have just really dug into fitness. I see a lot of it. Like, you've done well since the last summit. You've gotten into fitness.
I have.
I don't
know what else to say. Yeah, we get up, we work out. I got away from the gym. We got
Is that a sales call?
That was from Florida. I don't know who the hell's calling me from Florida. That's the problem. I can't shut my phone off. My phone's silenced, but my phone through the computer wasn't silenced.
Yep.
We got a cable machine they had installed a couple months ago called Amp Fitness. It's they mount it up on the wall, and you can move the lever up and down, and a bunch of there's a bar and handles and V's and ropes, and I got a bench out in the garage, and we've got some free weights and stuff, but we get down there and it's like just a circuit of cable exercises that you can do every part of the body. I like it because the 25 minutes each way that I would drive to the gym in the morning, I can go down there and, crank it out. And it's been a lot easier having something at home is nice. I didn't think I would like it, but I do. I'm
lucky because my gym's only like 6 minutes down the road.
Yeah. If the gym was 6 minutes away, I'd be at the gym. Yeah, mine's like, we're kind of out in the suburbs a little bit enough that it's probably a good 25 minutes over to the gym. So
I do my sauna at home, but I don't do it as much as I used to. I used to
do you cold bath?
No. I heard that, like, if you're in a bodybuilding, that it actually is works against you. I don't know. A lot of people do it right after. Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm not too into the cold, man. Like, I have no interest in living in the snow. Like I've seen snow like 2 or 3 times. It was mostly melting.
Yeah,
But
you're
I
not
just
missing anything.
I mean I probably do want to go like on a ski trip or something, but or something. I want to do something in the snow, but I couldn't see myself living in it. But my nerve damage in my left arm, it bothers my left arm a little bit for one. But I'm just not nothing sounds good about a cold plunge to me.
I mean, I guess there's some health benefits, but then again,
Yeah.
I got to jump in ice water, which doesn't sound like it'd be fun at all. So,
No. But I feel like sauna is like doing the same thing, just in the other spectrum. Like instead of freeze my ass off, I can just heat myself up, and I
right.
like that better.
Yeah.
Do you
Saunas are
do
good.
I take it you do the cold plunges.
No, but
No?
I keep seeing them for sale all the time. And I thought, well, maybe I'll buy one. I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds really cool. I go and take a cold shower in the morning though. Like
Do
I
you?
won't turn the heat on. I'll just turn it cold and jump in there, and you feel refreshed afterwards. But that's probably what 50 degrees, not 30 degrees. So
It's supposed to be good for you. I don't even think we had heated showers 70 years ago. Like, I think it's a pretty new thing.
we live in great times then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
No,
okay.
you
I'm okay
ever
where we
think
live.
about that, man? We really are living in like the greatest times ever. Like people complain, but what the fuck? We've seen social media, we've seen we've seen pagers, we've seen cell phones, we've seen smartphones, we've seen social media. Like now we're seeing cars drive themselves. Like
I mean, look, man, I'm 52, so I grew up. I remember having a rotary phone at the house that was on a party line. So you'd pick up the phone, and if the neighbor in the farm down the road was on, you had to wait till they got off to you can make a call. And then I had to go to Indianapolis for a funeral recently. I let the Tesla drive literally the entire way,
yeah,
and it's
that's
just
crazy.
crazy. Like that
But
thing
would you
backed
ever
itself
would have
into
thought of
chargers.
that? Would you ever
No,
have thought of that 20
no,
30
not a
years
million
ago?
years.
No.
Not a million years.
So honestly, I think that like people just I think you're slow to adapt is the thing. Even myself, it's hard to adapt to all this technology and stuff. It is because it's moving so rapidly. But like if you don't, you're just gonna get behind.
100%. Like sometimes when this, like if you get like an old prospect and you ask for the email, like I don't have an email. Like I don't think that's a flex. Like I feel bad for you. Like it's been something that's been in our world for 30 years. Like we've had emails for 30 years. Like if you decided not to get on board, like what are you going to not drive? You're going to keep your horse just because you didn't want
gets
to
to
get a
where
car?
you're just harming yourself. Like I said this
100%.
about my grandmother passed away, but a few
Oh, I'm
years
sorry to
ago.
hear
But
that. Oh,
a few years ago, but I think of this because like she just refused to adapt to the cell phone, like the smartphones. And then I had a grandfather, he's gone too, but at the time he adapted to it and he was like texting my kids and he had a relationship with he didn't live in the same state, but he was able to communicate with them all the time.
right.
And then like my other grandparent, I love her, but she just wouldn't adapt to the phone. So like it was just hurting her own life. Like say if she needed to do an Uber,
Right.
like it's really cheap to do, but if you got to get a taxi, you're paying like 3 times the price. But when you can't use a phone, like you're stuck using a taxi. So it's just like it ends up hurting yourself when you don't just adapt to things.
100%. I mean, the world's going to leave you behind eventually. And, it's just going to cost you more.
Yeah.
In the end, it'll cost you more.
Yeah. And it's not just that, it's just, we really are. I think we're just not aware. We really are. And like, we have more opportunity than I think we've ever had.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
you used to have to, I mean, you still do, but no one does it because there's no eyes there. But you used to have to pay to get on the radio, pay to get on the TV. No one's eyes are there. But now you can go on social media, make a video every day, and have free eyes on you every single day marketing your business. And you don't do it because you're afraid to get on there and put your face on a video. Like it's
I mean,
really
look there's a bunch of us doing social media where we're doing literally millions of views, and it's
right
for free.
for
just
free.
Being out there and being seen,
For free. So there's just so much opportunity right now. Like if you adapt and execute, like I don't think we've ever had this much opportunity ever. And people act like it's like bad times or something. What are you talking about?
Like people that don't want to use AI tools, and there's just so much stuff out there.
Yeah. No, even I have an aunt, even she won't even get on Facebook. She's like afraid of people getting her information. I'm like, what are you afraid of? Like literally, like you could be seeing your family more, like what's going on with them. It just ends up hurting yourself when you don't adapt. And AI is the greatest example, because that's, I think, what people are really resisting right now.
I mean, is there a dark side to AI? For sure. Like, you see videos that look very real that aren't real, like that. I don't know how we police that. I don't know how we protect ourselves from that. But, and I think it's like anything. When people with good intentions utilize something, good stuff happens. Right. And if you have bad intentions, then, there's always going to be people taking advantage of things. But AI, I think it's just hard to figure out.
It's like a neutral. Most things are neutral, and then it's whatever meaning we give it to it, but it can be used for both. That goes for almost anything.
Yeah, I mean, look at I always watch, there's a guy on YouTube I watch, this guy Pierogi's Scammer Payback, where he goes on and like busts people trying to scam old people, like from India. And I'm thinking like all these people out there that do all these crazy things to like copy credit cards, and like if they would just use their skills for good, like, what the world would be like.
I've thought about that. It's because like they're literally working a job.
like, to rip people off, or to do bad stuff, take advantage of people.
Yeah, it's not like it's easy. Like you're working, like why can't you just put that work into something positive, and you'll do just as well.
Right. And like if you turned it around on them and I did what they did to their grandma, they'd be pissed. Yeah. Right. But
yeah. No, it's so true. No, those shows are pretty funny.
Yeah, it's easy to get into a rabbit hole, and I think the worst thing Stacey and I did was pay for the unlimited, like the ad-free YouTube.
Yeah.
We're just, we consume way too much of that. So
is that worth it, getting rid of the ads?
Yeah, because you don't have to wait for it. I mean, look, it's like $20 a month or something, but I mean, we use it as that's the thing we watch more than anything. So
I use YouTube Music a lot for like music, stuff like that. Sometimes podcasts.
I do listen. I didn't ever think I'd be a podcast guy, but like a lot of times now, like I have the entrepreneur 4:30 in the morning, just wake up staring at the ceiling. And my move now is to sort of, confuse my head. So I'll put an AirPod in and throw a podcast of something I'm not interested in to put me back to sleep. Because that, like the noise in your head, you almost have to distract that noise in your head. So I found that has been a good tool to, to allow myself to fall asleep again. But now I just listen to a lot of podcasts. So, and there's so much good stuff in our industry out there, and home services in general, and finance, and like there's so many people out there wanting to share their stories and their experiences that, once again, we live in great times. So
that's what I mean. Like we didn't have this voice back in the day. You couldn't have a podcast. Like we got so much information at our fingertips, yet so many people scoff at it. Like, it's crazy.
And, when they do go to TV, what are they really consuming? Like where there's so many things that will be productive to your life and contribute to your life. And, but.
Are you doing your reels on YouTube?
Yeah, we, a couple months, I don't know, at some point we haven't really recorded any specific YouTube content, but we've just been putting our reels into shorts over there, and they get way more traffic than you'd ever think they would get.
No, it's really crazy. Well, because it's like, what a lot of people don't realize is that Google owns YouTube. So that type of stuff even will help your SEO efforts on your website.
Right, just all the connected presence.
Yeah. And AI, like now the AI search is getting more and more prevalent. Like someone who's on YouTube Shorts versus someone who's not, like it's just, I don't think you're going to be the top 3 that they recommend.
We have some plans to record some specific content, plus to do some more like guides. Like, oh God, I said like way too many times there. We're doing a lot more cleanings now than we've ever done before, and I finally found like a really good full-time cleaning guy who I feel like I can grow that part of the business around. But what I'm finding, and now we do more of them, that because Jobber doesn't differentiate between the type of job. Like if I want to do an FAQ for cleaning because the process is different, it's hard for me to put that on there. So I'm going to record like an FAQ for, like how our cleaning process goes, and just tie that YouTube link in there. So if you have questions about cleaning, watch this quick video. Trying to do some more things to tie into, just to tie into be connected.
Are you what are you doing? You're just, if it's a clean out person, are you just tagging it clean out? Like
we're tagging, all the jobs in arrears get tagged so we can remarket to them later. We're using company cam to take before and after pictures. So the differentiator we're using is we're also adding the word inspection. Like we don't do cleanings, we do cleanings and inspections. And there's two things that does. Like a lot of times people want to, right, they want to schedule, and I'm like, well, you don't have to be there. And just so you know, we take before pictures and after pictures and provide a synopsis of where we feel your gutters are at the end when we send the invoice over. So they feel like, they're getting more of a service for that. Right. The other side of that is how many times you get a call. It's like, hey, I need someone to come over and look at these gutters and see if they're okay. But, we have a cleaning and inspection service. Sounds right for you. Because to check your gutters out, we need to clean them anyway, see what's really going on there. So I can send a technician over. We'll get them all cleaned out and we'll figure out what's going on. Only $249.
Only.
We're not climbing the ladder for free.
Are you putting any of these people on like maintenance packages where it's ongoing?
No, and should I have by now? Yes. Just for me to roll that out, I haven't figured out the process yet. Plus, to be fair, I just haven't prioritized it enough to do it. It's a little embarrassing to say that out loud, but it's the truth. Like those are the things I fail at. The one thing about where we're at in our volume right now is that I need to make a decision in the next couple months, and probably over the winter for next season. As we grow, I can't handle, like I'm getting to be at the max of what I can do. And if that's all we do, what's that?
I would just, if you have them all tagged, which a lot of people don't realize how important it is to tag your customers. Like right now I'm doing a promotion for Griswold's for July, and like the tags I have different messages depending on who's tagged for what. So even my marketing, it allows you to narrow down your marketing to them. What was I getting at?
Tag them for marketing, to email them.
I would call them, like since you have them tagged, all clean outs.
We had this conversation.
I would call them all and like assume that hey, it's time for you to get your yearly clean out and just get them put on the schedule, and then get them on a contract from that point, and just get them scheduled. They're due once a year. They don't know it. Like a lot of them just need educated on the fact that you're supposed to be there every year.
And historically, the repeat customers we've had, which has been a lot of them, all tend to be like when I look at their old invoice, it was the same month. It was within 60 days of the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a project I think I need to get Aaliyah working on.
Well, I'm in that situation this year, right? With Griswold's, like I don't have anyone on contracts. I got one person I put on a contract so far, and it's hurt my retention rate. Like it's not that I have a bad retention rate, but my retention rate is way less than if I had them on contracts. So now I'm going at it with like a discount in mind. So if I give them 10% off, I'll lock their price in for 3 years. It's promising them that the price won't jump for 3 years. They're saving 10%. If for some reason the next year flows around and they decide to back out, the only penalty is giving me back that discount. Like you don't get a discount unless it was 3 years. So give me the 10% back. And it's not.
So like an early termination fee kind of thing.
Right. And it's not a real big risk to them. So it's not even real like it's a real contract because there's not a lot of financial, who cares? They give you back 10%. But my buddy did it on 100 or 284 jobs. Only 4 of them canceled. 3 of them gave him the 10%. And the other one, he was just like, whatever. Well, that's a lot better than me at 65, 70% retention rate, having to constantly fill up that 30% back. So I think it would work too with gutter cleanings. You got a gutter cleaning price, but you lock them in for 3 years. This is the price.
Okay. I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her to make a chart of everybody by month, and then we'll start attacking it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Where I wanted to be, man, it took me forever to find the right person in that role too, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad I have that person now. We have a new guy, Ryan, who's been here about probably 6 weeks now,
Nice.
and he, like, folks love him. I don't have to pay a lot of attention to him.
Is that the clean out guy?
He's the clean out guy.
Yep.
And and then I gave him a new task right out of the gate. I bought a sewer drain camera, like a $299 on Amazon. Like, it's 100 feet, little LEDs at the end, 1080p. Just put the little card in it. But we started adding optional cleanouts or camera drain inspections.
Nice.
And we say on it, like, we're not fixing them. This is just a while we're out there, if you're curious, inspection. And the penetration's been good. So that machine, that $300 thing paid itself off like literally the first week.
So you're selling
like
work because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty
smart. So it's just getting more revenue per stop. Yeah. And we did that last year with the dryer vents. In the way this is wanting to roll out, you know what I really need? I need like 300 grand. I want to get a 6.7 machine. So I was going to order a 6.7 machine and make that our daily machine. It's too long for a 16-foot trailer. So now I got to because I want to put the 5.6 in a van, like a big, tall ceiling van, and have that van do chop and drops and cleanings and dryer vents and drain cameraing. Mm-hmm. That cleaning guy can stay busy all the time doing that stuff. And like the domino falls, because I didn't buy a big enough trailer. Now I gotta get an 18
trailer.
Right. And yeah, so I just got a new trailer for the half round machine, but I don't want that to be my everyday rig, because I want to keep that thing as nice as possible for.
Are you buying new trailer?
Yeah. I think if anything, I want to go box truck. Like, I want my main rig to be like one of those like the FedEx ones. Tom has one of those with the sliding door, they're low to the ground. Yeah. Because I feel like the box trucks that get up on the rails, like, you'll wear the guys out having to get in and out of that thing all day.
Yeah.
But so
if you did go the trailer route, I always shop in Georgia, because that's where all the manufacturers are.
Really?
You can save like 20-30%. In fact, a lot of guys are taking the trailers from Georgia, shipping them to California, and selling them for 3 times the price.
Did they get them cheaper because they're closer?
Yeah.
I think the one I bought for the half hour machine came out of, I think, Indiana. The state of Indiana is a big RV. Like, it's like kind of like how Georgia is for that. But
yeah, they make RVs.
Yeah. I drove out of state to get mine, where we didn't stop at the local shop. But yeah, now I have 2 trailers. But if I get another trailer, then I almost have to get another truck.
I know.
So I'm just trying to figure out logistically what's the best way to do this, right? Get the most bang for my buck without buying, a new trailer, a new truck, and a Sprinter van. So
I really like the Sprinter vans. I don't think that, I understand it's probably easier to work out of a box truck, but I think that Sprinter vans just brand so much nicer.
They do.
I think if you have a Sprinter van versus a box truck and they're both wrapped, that Sprinter van's going to get you more business.
I agree. And I think a lot of people that utilize the Sprinter van are also guys that do a lot of like new construction. Yep. Right? Because the difference with us is to have 260 feet of the dirty gutters, and I guess you could pull a little trailer with them, but
I had box trucks, but I just something about those Sprinter vans.
They look. I know Dan Antonelli and all those kick charge Sprinter vans that you see, man. They're
slick.
Like Chesters, man. Those things are. You can't take your eyes off them if they're done right. But you're right. Box trucks, it's too boxy.
I've worked out of them before. You get used to it. It's just the tear offs. It's not that you can't do tear offs. It's just that you have to be clean with your tear off. Like, you gotta chop it all up, stack it. You can't just throw a bunch of shit in there. Like, it's gotta be more methodical on the
we have our guys trained. Like, our stuff is neatly cut, stacked.
Yeah.
We get those tubs from Sam's Club, the black ones with the yellow lids.
Yeah.
And then all the cut pieces and little pieces and hangers all go into those. And so, yeah, we try to stay pretty efficient. I'm always amazed how heavy the trailer is when we go take our scrap out. So,
no doubt, Chris. So, hey, Chris, if anyone wanted to reach out to you like about sales and just, have some questions or some guidance or maybe talk to you about getting into the program, what's the best way for them to reach out to you? Is it DM or?
Yeah, send me a DM on Facebook. I mean, if you haven't, send me a friend request. Chris Dobrosky. We're easy to find out there. You don't have to look very far to find us. I will talk to anybody about sales, man. It's because for the most of our industry, it isn't like there's a long way to go, but little steps will have such a big impact. Like you said earlier, and we talked about people just actually making the decision to ask every prospect to buy. And it's it's that fear, and it's being comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? If we're going to do anything, just that move alone right there would make a huge impact in someone's success.
Do you remember your first sale that you ever did? Like the first time you did a door, a sale at a door to door, or you do?
I have a particular one. It was in my first season of selling, and it taught me a lesson. And can I tell a full story of this one? Or?
Okay. Yeah.
So I was very young. I was a freshman in college. That might have been the summer between my freshman and sophomore year. But so I went out, and it was really early on, and I went out and I closed this nice deal, and it was like 10 or 11 grand. I mean, we're talking the early 90s, right? And they bought it retail, and I was just so stoked about how awesome I was. And I got full commission, and when I was in college, making $1,000 was great money, right? It was awesome. And I came back to the office because those were the days like we didn't have cell phones. I had to bring actual paperwork back and turn it in, and finance papers and all that stuff. But so the guy who owned the company was like, "Oh, hey, Giselle, what happened?" And I told him the story, and he got so mad at me. He's like, "You're such a B word and a P word." And I was like, "Bro, I just sold." He goes, "If you weren't such a pussy, you would have asked for more. Like, could you have gotten $5 more? Could you have gotten $10 more out of him? You won't know because you were too scared to ask for the full money." And it took me years to understand that conversation. Like at first I was like, what a jerk. Like I was like, he just like talk about like bringing my high down, dude. I was like so stoked, man. I was going to buy drinks. And it was like my first real big sale. And it was definitely my first $1,000 commission. And I just got eviscerated, dude. And and once again, it took years to understand it. But
right.
At some point I realized like, shit, he was right. Why didn't I, if I wanted to sell it at our par price, why didn't I come in 20% over par? I could have dropped down to it.
Yeah.
I was afraid to ask for all the money, and that's a hard lesson. That's a hard lesson to learn. And I feel like it's in our industry too, because how many times have you read a fair price?
Yeah. What the
I don't even know what that is. What's a fair price?
You know what a fair price is to 90% of the people in the industry? What's he charging? Oh, that's a fair price. Like, come on, man. Like, but that's what it is. But it shouldn't be that. It should be like, what does it actually need to be? And just none of these guys know. We actually had a mastermind earlier that Rob was running, and it was about pricing. And it's just like you have to think about your overhead and all that, and actually, know where your gross margin should be, but where your net it should be based off those.
Your price shouldn't be off what some guy in Facebook said.
No. The only time I agree is when someone gives out a high price. I'm like, there, you could probably work with that one.
Right. But even then, I don't know his cost. So it may not be as good as it could be on paper. That guy might buy stuff, 5 stepped in, and he might be paying $7 a foot for, who knows, right? Like you got to know your numbers. But
my first sales appointment didn't go as good as yours.
That wasn't my first. That was just my first sell. But yeah,
okay, I got you. Now, my first time I walked up an estimate to someone, I was visibly shaking. Like, it was crazy.
But you've been talking to people your whole life, right? You've interacted with strangers your whole life. It shouldn't have been a big deal. But talking about money, talking about being on their house, it messes people up. And once again, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yep.
And that thing about fair, like if you can go through Facebook and find it. Every time someone types about do fair, I always hit reply and say fair to who? Right? Because they're so worried about giving a good price to some stranger they've never met but their employees are under the table. They don't
Right.
have a 401k. They don't have any type of benefits. Their kids aren't, the owner's kids aren't getting the best opportunities possible. Like, they're so worried about being fair to that stranger, but like
Not fair to
not
themselves, and fair to their
caring
employees.
for themselves and their workers and their workers' families. Which,
Yep.
if they're not going to come first, who's going to come first?
Yep. No, that's such a valid point.
Time for payroll.
So
That's my payroll alarm.
well, I'll let you get to payroll. I appreciate you coming on today, brother. Had fun.
I appreciate that. And I guess we should plug the sales
Webinar?
seminar. Yep.
Yep.
Wednesday,
we have a
the
webinar
8th?
on the 8th. We posted about it in a few of the groups. We also posted about it on the Gutter Growth business page. If you're in our wheelhouse, I'll end up sending you a text message and also an email blast like 2 days before. So look out for that. It's going to be Wednesday night, July 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Totally free. Chris is going to bring the heat. He always helps improve our guys with their close rates. So you definitely.
And if you're sitting out there right now and you're watching this and you're like, and fundamentally you all do, right? Like nobody's closing 1,000% for $1,000 a foot, right? So it's everybody can use some help. But if you're sitting out there right now and you're thinking to yourself, like, I do not feel in control. I don't feel like I know what the outcome of the appointment's going to be. And I just don't feel like I have my hands wrapped around this. Then I would invite you to come out, because we're going to water everything down a little bit. We're going to give you some basic steps and some basic techniques to help improve. Like, I understand most of you don't have any process. We're just going to give you some little tips to just push the bar forward a little bit and maybe create a foundation which you can build off of later and throughout your career.
It'll definitely be worth it. So I appreciate you, Chris, and we'll see you guys soon.